Hello, hello, hello. Can y'all hear me? Can everybody hear me now? Let me know if you guys can hear me talking. Okay. Sorry, y'all. I was having a little bit of technical difficulty. Go figure. Oh, I feel like crap, you guys. Sorry. How's everybody doing today? Got Little Deb, Muffin Top, Rhonda Moon, Cherokee Girl, Lisa Kleckner, Sadie Girl's Mama, sorry, y'all. How's everybody doing? What's up, Scuba? I guess, what's up, Big Mad? Mods, I haven't made this subscribers only simply because I'm not going to be live that long. I feel like crud. Warped over. Sorry, y'all. Allergies, upper respiratory. People say smoking. It ain't even from smoking. I can't even think about a cigarette. That's what's up, Miss Rhonda. So, I just drank coffee hoping that I'd be able to feel better. Already showing I'm buffering. Are you kidding me? YouTube has got to do better. So, there's several things I want to talk about. First of all, they have found Eliza Fletcher. Okay. Trying to share something on my screen at the same time. I'm looking for something specific. Okay. I'm not going to share the audio on it. Hopefully, you'll still be able to hear me talk and it'll keep there from being an echo. Because I just want it showing in the background while I still talk. Right, Rhonda, I agree. Now, there won't be any sound to this video. I'm trying to avoid getting struck with copyright. So, just bear with me till I get to the part that I wanted to talk about. I think this is the only video that I have seen them show and cover the house search. And there's just one thing. Everything's in a nice tight little bow. Here's the problem. And when this video gets to the point where it shows it, I'll pause. Right here, you see this car pulls up to this intersection. This is the car that the guy was driving. I'm not going to say his name. I don't want to give him that energy. Sorry, not sorry. That's the car that he was driving. That car was approximately 20 to 24 minutes. I've heard varying reports. I've heard 20, 22, 23 minutes. So I'm going to say between 20 and 24 minutes ahead of her. She's on her route jogging. You can't tell me that there wasn't a bunch of twists and turns that she could have took in the 20 minutes. Now, they didn't say if it was a 20-minute jog, walk, or drive time. But he drove past where she was at on that same road. Somehow they know this. I'm guessing it's traffic cams. But he drove past this lady while she was jogging and pulled to where we see that car right there. Stopped and waited between 20 and 24 minutes for her to get to that intersection. How many turns could she have taken off of the path? Could she have stopped and even gotten something to eat or something? We don't know. But you can't tell me there wasn't at least one road, one way that she could have went right or left that would have took her back towards her house. Why was he so confident if it was just random, that he just randomly saw her and went up there and waited? How was he so confident that she was going to come on through there and he could jump out and grab her? Now, the police are still saying it's an ongoing investigation, which honestly leads me to think that they might be thinking what we thinking. She fought. And I'm going to say this. I didn't say it before, but just based on what was said, she fought with a vengeance, and they felt like the wounds that she received on that video camera during that altercation were life-threatening. 4 minutes inside before they left. And then here comes one more twist right quick that we all know about. The original, or if you don't, I'll tell you. The original 2001 charge that he got for kidnapping the attorney, that attorney worked in the same office as Eliza's uncle. Memphis ain't that small, boobs. That's why I don't feel it was random. And I don't think the police do either. They're trying to, right now, they know the how and they know the who. They're searching for the why. Something else that has been confirmed, and the same person has told me some other info, so I'm just going to go ahead and say, we know they took the dumpster outside of the brothers' housing. What we don't know, or what's not been confirmed, is that the top and shorts that she had on were found in a nearby McDonald's dumpster. Now, also, just for everyone to know, the credit card or the charges that are separate from this, that have the $10,000 bond, and we'll look at that. I actually have that bond hearing from this morning also to play for you guys. Here on the screen shortly, you're about to see the statement that was originally made by the family. I'll put the closed caption in. I just want y'all during this statement to look at the mama's face. Watch the hubby and look at the mama's face. The daddy looks lost, like he ain't hearing nobody. And the mama, that's the uncle right there, by the way. And the husband, and I didn't understand if that was Eliza's brother or the husband's brother. The other theft charges and credit cards, some people are thinking that it's Eliza's credit card and that was used the day before. It is not. Apparently, the owner of the company he worked for, that is whose card he had taken and used without permission. And from all accounts, everything I can dig in his background, this juvenile has been in trouble with the law since somewhere between 9 and 11 years old. There's juvenile records that are sealed. And if family talks about it or persons that know him talk about it, that's how we find out. Those records are not available for search. I have been told that this alleged perpetrator has the mental capacity of a 13-year-old. Now, I am going to say something before this is done, because somebody raised a question in a chat room I was in, and I agree with them. I was already there. Why is it so different for this case than it was for Summer's case? Now, there's a lot of things I could say to that. Number one, we got video evidence where there's clear tags were being able to got off of the car due to the damage that was on the vehicle. This gentleman was out of the system. He'd already been in the system and been incarcerated, so his DNA was on file with CODIS. So it did make it a quicker turnaround. Do I think that the family ties in the background played a part in the quickness of the turnaround? Why, hell yeah. Come on, let's be real. Let's not play games here. Do I think also the willingness of the local police force to cooperate with the FBI, Homeland Security, U.S. Marshals, and anybody else that wanted to come up in there? Absolutely. It wasn't a judge. No, ma'am, Kim. He was not a judge. He was an attorney. He was coming out of a party. If the judge, I heard that was as a juvenile. So I can't comment on that. Just to keep it 100% real with you. I don't know if it'll allow me to fix that share. I'm going to fix something here. I want to play the family statement part. I don't know if it'll let me though or not. I am not going to on this. This is Good Morning America. And I don't want to take that chance. I want to get to the part that I want you guys to see. When her family and friends have been notified when he got out of jail, considering that she had family working with the victim. the previous victims, you know, and obviously would have known them. Would they have been notified for any reason? I don't know the answer to that. Should be coming back up on y'all's screen. While we're waiting for it to get up there, anybody that can help me get my medicine. I've been back to the doctor, and it took everything I had to pay for the doctor. I got a butt ton of medicines to get. I had to come up with $111 and some change altogether for them. At this point, I still need like $76. So anybody that wants to help, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, would be greatly appreciated. Otherwise, we're going to finish this and I'm going back to bed, y'all. I'm tired, terrible. I have holes, cough drops and stuff. I've got to get another antibiotic. I had a breathing treatment at the hospital. I went to the ER, and day before yesterday, and then I've been to urgent care, and then the actual doctor's office. So I've had 3 visits altogether. But I got a breathing treatment today at urgent care as well. So I've had 3 good breathing treatments. They're going to change me to a different antibiotic. I'm allergic to penicillin, by the way. If anybody wonders why I haven't just got a shot, there's your answer. And steroid, they're giving me a different steroid than what I had before. I had a steroid pack. They're giving me some kind of different one now. A different antibiotic. I don't know. And then guanafesin, something, guanafesin. So it's a clear pearl pill, they said. It's a pearl. Whatever a pearl is, it's a pill. But anyway, I digress. Please, when it starts playing, I want y'all to pay attention to the mama's face. You won't see a lot of it. See, in and out, but I'm trying to get to a certain part of the video. Again, we'll go back to the car. This is why, by the way, okay, hold up. I went too far. Gotta be ready to pause right here, you guys. So here we are at the house. You see they're putting the laptop in this paper bag. Now, the laptop in the car doesn't surprise me. I'm just going to be honest. They always check the house. They always check family. They're going to look into that when somebody goes missing until they know anything different. So the laptop and her car, you know, on Star and all that stuff, will show where she's been, who she's been talking to. Is there somebody she had contact with that knew this individual that would have caused her to be targeted? You know, those kinds of things. But then we see, it's not going to let, I'll sit right there. I'm trying, y'all. We see that they also removed those long-handled garden shears right there that I keep talking about. Why? Those are my why question. The car and the computer, that makes sense. Even if they thought that the only motive was just this individual was hungry, thirsty, and had no other way to do anything. The computer and car, they go along with it. Those make sense. But the garden shears right here? What's y'all's thoughts? I ain't seeing nobody say anything in the chat. What do y'all think? Why do y'all think? What significance did these garden shears have? Why did they take those in the first place? What would be the reasoning, you know? And even before they knew about Mr. Abston. Why? What's up, RJ? How you doing? My question is, like I said, I get the computer, I get the car. I got that from the beginning. And it's so weird. At the point that they're removing these garden shears, the husband is retaining legal counsel. Now, again, it could be said her uncle works for a law firm. Um, they own a company, all that. So it could be said that to protect the children and to protect her, that he got an attorney. When you have people that are used to dealing with funds and money and stuff like that, I think so, Cherokee girl. Right now at this point, I'm not talking about anything but what we can prove. One other, the person, the same DNA. That's what I was thinking, Cherokee. Maybe they wanted to separate her DNA from the DNA found on the champion slides. So she'd had the garden shears recently using them. But again, when I use them because we got them, mine's got the green handles. But we got them like that. We wear gloves. And I just don't see her not wearing gardening gloves. So, why? And the same source that told me about the clothes, the same person that told me about the same person that told me about the clothes in the McDonald's dumpster is also the same person that told me yesterday evening about 6, a little bit after. They are dangerous, RJ. I didn't even see the gruesome part, so I missed it. I have to roll back. She could have cut herself and got some blood on them. I get that too. Yeah, RJ, I thought so too. But those are found inside her house. That's my thing. Why inside her house? Unless somehow that they knew her DNA was on those shears and that they could use it to separate the DNA on the slides. But again, this guy's DNA was in CODIS, and at this time, they were already running it. I'm just going to tell you, when they were taking this out, they were already, as quick as it was before they got that shit in the car and logged in, they already had his DNA back from CODIS. It was a less than 3-hour turnaround. Allegedly, he had tried to burn all evidence of her. Little Deb, the lawyer, was coming out late at night from a party. He took him to several ATMs trying to make him get money out of those ATMs. But something I have learned, there was another person apparently involved with that crime. And according to court documents, what I have been able to find out from that, in 2001, somebody, I'm guessing it was that attorney, testified. From the way I read the court paperwork, it looks like the kidnapped victim testified. And the other person involved was out really quick. And he got 20 years. Right on was his. Like I said, he was already in CODIS. He left his shoes at the scene of the crime. Obviously, he's not on America's smartest criminals. I have a hard time believing that it was just a random act, because how did he know that if he drove 20 to 24 minutes ahead of her on that route, that she was going to continue on that route? Did she have on something that said University of Memphis that made him think that that's where she was going? Or had he stalked her? Had he followed her? Or did somebody tell him what her route was? That's the only things that make sense on that part. I'm sorry, not trying to lead to a conspiracy, just looking at facts. Because to pull an intersection or a minute or 5 minutes even ahead sounds crazy to me, because 5 minutes running time, if you're a runner of her caliber that's run the Boston Marathon, you can do a mile and a half, 2 miles nearly in 5 minutes. So for 20 plus minutes, she could have went anywhere. She could have took a left or a right and been back home. That's why I find it odd. That's what I find odd. And then when I see that they took these kind of shears out of her residence, I'm hoping that she was gardening the evening or day before and maybe pricked her finger or something, and they knew there would be blood or DNA evidence that belonged to her on there. But at the time they took these gardening shears, they had not found her, but they had found clothing reportedly belonging to her in the McDonald's dumpster. So could they compare the DNA on that? Yes. Thank you, RJ. Like I said, 5 minutes, she could have been nearly 2 miles. So how did he know in 20 plus minutes that she was going to be running right there where he parked? That's my question. That is the question I think the police are still asking themselves. And that'll help answer the why. To me, it takes the randomness out. Now, RJ, I'm glad you're in here because you know a little bit about Tennessee law. And I know a little bit about most states that offer the death penalty. We got first-degree premeditated murder that at 10 a.m. tomorrow will be added officially to his charges, along with some other. But the premeditation with the murder charge. Now, I looked at that. There's several different things that qualifies it for that premeditated murder. But again, premeditation doesn't sound like that it was a random thing. Premeditation, though, can be 1 minute, you guys. During that minute that you have to decide what you're going to do and what you're not going to do is when the premeditation can occur. So please do remember that. Sorry. Give me a second. But why was he watching her, Sergeant King? Why was he watching her? Was he watching her just for the random connection between his previous victim and her? Or was he watching her because somebody wanted him to watch her? That's the question. Yes. Yes. Agreed, RJ. Got you, RJ. We'll make sure we're over there to catch that. Absolutely. There are special circumstances, but there's a difference. And I believe there's another, like this is premeditated murder. There is first degree premeditated murder, which is, and there's special circumstances, first degree premeditated murder. The special circumstances can be added at any time. Again, though, why was he stalking her? Was it just at random? And it's just a coincidence that his previous victim worked in the firm with her uncle? Or is there something else at play? I would be, one to think that it was just a... See, we're not going to ask that here, Sergeant King. It was 4:30 a.m. as I understand. Reason I'm not going to blame her as a choice. Is there things that can be suggested to do more safely? Yes. But should someone have to restrict themselves and their life because other people don't know how to act? She was running at 4 a.m. because she had to be at work as a teacher, probably by around 6:30, and she had to get home and get food ready for 2 kids and get them ready to take off. And she wanted to stay healthy and in shape. She was running because it's hot as hell, and it's been hot as hell. And the morning hours are the best time to run if you don't want to get hit by traffic. It wasn't like even at 4 a.m. that intersection was empty, you guys. Memphis ain't no little podunk town. It's all grown up since Elvis was there. Remember, I was talking about the incentives that they were offering for Memphis police officers, MPD. You'll see they also took her vehicle and put it on the rollback. Again, I think the computer and the vehicle is something that I would expect. No, it wasn't a bad neighborhood at all, Kim. There was actually security right near where she got taken. We're going to look at I'm just trying to share screen, y'all. Thank you so much, Buffett. I'm going to share the first quarter appearance with you guys right now.
All right, we are going live here. First time ever seeing the suspect right now coming. Let's listen right here on Live Down from Fox.
I know you're wearing a facial mask, so speak as clearly as you can through your mask, so I can understand what you're saying. We have 2 cases on the docket today, and in one case, the name is listed here on the docket as plea absent. The second case, they have listed as plea absent Henderson, which is correct legally. Absent, Henderson. Sir? Anderson. Okay. Social Security. And I'll address you that way.
I see a lot of people saying he's a monster and this and that. And listen, his actions are monstrous. I'm not taking up for that at all. But what I will tell you guys is he's a product of his environment. This is what happens when you see somebody at the... Sorry, y'all, it's my holes. I'm trying. Well, it's not holes. It's actually walls, I guess, because it's Walmart brand holes. But when you have somebody that from the age of 9 is committing criminal acts, that's the time that you do something to change it. This young man apparently is a product of his environment. He was raised by the streets. Yes, she was a billionaire heiress, allegedly. Doesn't mean she has money yet, because she got brothers and sisters and mama and daddy and aunts and uncles. That still, was her grandfather. That's right, Muffin Top, and the crimes can escalate over time. Also, it is alleged that this gentleman only has the mental capacity of a 13-year-old. At some time, that's got it. Listen, I don't think it was random either. At some time, we got to address what's the problem here, you guys. We have prisons that are for profit, privately owned and operated for profit. Now, let me ask you a question. If the owners of those prisons don't make money unless those beds and cells are filled, what is the best thing to do? Think about it. If I owned a prison and I wanted to get more people into it, I would go to the music industry and to Hollywood and glorify criminal activity and keep the criminals, glorify gangs, glorify drugs, guns, fast cars, everything that you want but you can't get by working a 9 to 5. Because what happens? More crimes are committed. More drugs get out here. More crimes are committed. More beds are filled. And more money goes in their pockets. Don't think it happens. It happens. I've been doing a deep investigation into some things. It happens more than y'all think. Back to this.
Mr. Ashton, in your first case, you're charged with especially aggravated kidnapping and tampering with or fabricating evidence in a criminal case. Your bond is set by the Judicial Commissioner in that case in the amount of $500,000. In your second case, you're charged with a misdemeanor offense, theft of property with a value of $1,000 or less, identity theft, and fraudulent use or possession of a credit card. Your bond.
Again, let me remind you guys, it was not Liza's credit card. Allegedly, it was the boss at the company he worked for.
Bond was set in that case in the amount of $10,000 by the Judicial Commissioner. You're presumed to be innocent of the charges. You have the right to have a lawyer to represent you on these charges. And that is why you were asked to fill out some information for me for each case in an affidavit, similar to this one we have to. One for each case. Raise your right hand, sir. Do you swear or affirm that the facts and the information that you are submitting in each of your affidavits concerning whether you can make bond and whether you can hire an attorney is true and correct information, sir. Put your hand down. In each of your affidavits for each case, you state that at this time you are not able to make bond, there's no one to help you, and you're not able to afford a lawyer. Is that correct? Your affidavits will be filed here in each of your court jackets. And based upon your affidavits, I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. You'll be assigned a lawyer, appointed counsel, from the Office of the Shelby County Public Defender. I'm referring your cases today to the office and holding your cases over for a short continuance so they can assign a lawyer to represent you who will review your cases and the facts. Yes, ma'am.
On behalf of the Shelby County Public Defender, I'll accept the appointment. The case will be my matter.
All right, you'll sign on both jackets, Ms. Jennifer Case. Step over and sign the jackets for me, please.
Yes, Your Honor. I will also advise the court that I'm at this time filing a motion for restriction of extrajudicial statements by the prosecution, by law enforcement, witnesses in the case.
You file whatever motions you need to at this time.
And, I'll be asking the court for it.
I don't know if y'all can tell. I believe the lady that got up and talked says that she's been appointed as his counsel. Oh, I agree with you, Kim.
Just to advise you, now, if you spoke to Mr. Hagman, I understand that there are additional charges that are coming. How you want to handle this today?
I'd say a couple things. Your Honor, first with regard to this motion, I think she said something to the effect of preparing an order. The state intends, as we always do, to comport with the ethical rules about what we can say and what we can't say. I don't understand a request for any sort of gag order at this time. This is literally the first court date.
I haven't seen it yet. There's nothing in the record right now. I haven't seen a written motion. If and when a written motion is filed, I will review it and rule on it. I understand. You'll have the opportunity to be heard.
Very good. The second thing, Your Honor, is yes, additional charges were filed this morning for murder, premeditated murder, and murder in perpetration of a kidnapping. I would expect the Judicial Commissioner to send those cases here, the clerk's office to send those cases here, as Your Honor stated. I would expect them to defer to Your Honor with regard to a bond setting on those cases. I think it would normally come to this court.
Alright, guys, I will let this play. Oh, I don't know how much longer I'll be able to be on here. I feel awful. I don't want to have to go back. The ER has basically told me there's nothing they can do for me until I get worse. So there I am. They've already given me medicines. Go get them. Ain't that great? Love them. I'm going to go to the bathroom, y'all. Be back.
Court with no bond set. And I think it would make the most sense, just record keeping and everything else right now, this should go ahead and show no bond set on this matter as well. So we get everything straight in the record.
If there's going to be any motion filed to reduce bond or set no bond or revoke bond, I want it in writing in the record. Under the section, bond has been set by the Judicial Commission at this time. That's fine. If there's going to be any request by the defense to reduce the bond or change the bond, it must be in writing per the statute. If there's a request by the state to change the bond, increase it, revoke it, or anything like that, it must be in writing. So if you'll file your motion to have it in the record, then we can deal with that. It's not before me right now. The case is not in front of me, and it requires a written motion by counsel for the defendant or the state to file a written motion if there's going to be a change in favor. All right? Thank you. Appreciate that. Now, I'm assuming, we can't assume that the clerk's office is going to assign the case to this courtroom. I'll have to ask them to specifically do that. Unfortunately, too many times when cases are pending in one courtroom, and a person's charged, the clerk assigns it to who's next on the assignment. So I'll have to make a phone call down to the clerk's office and request that they set the case if the charge has been filed. Set those cases with new charges in this court. They'll be on the docket in the morning. So I don't know if you want to hold this until the morning.
Also ask that perhaps the court hear our motion tomorrow and just file a written motion.
Well, I'll take it up if and when it's filed and give the state the opportunity to look at it, read it, and see if they want to respond to it in writing. So let's don't do all motions on the first day. Let's don't do that. Let me give the court in a proper status, proper way to consider any motions, okay? We'll take this up in the morning, and I'm assuming that the other case will be done. It's not before me right now. This is all hearsay. I'm hearing this from somebody else. I want it in the record. I want it before me before making any rulings on anything like that. All right? We'll hold this for tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. Show this for a report with the appointed counsel. Did you get a sign on this case? September 7th for our report back date, and I understand there's other charges forthcoming. Hopefully they'll be in this court tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. We'll take it up at that time. Thank you.
Guys, stop getting ripped off by your car insurance company and check this out. Okay, are you ready? All right, so let's take a look. $178. That was my car insurance, my premium. So policy premium, $150.
Much information out of this suspect, TJ, but do you think that with what was found in and around the vehicle, in addition to people who live in and around that neighborhood where she was last seen jogging, could investigators put this case together and put charges squarely on this suspect?
Good morning. Thank you for having me. Yes, I believe so. And this was a very, very quick investigation that I knew from the beginning was not random. This was a planned kidnapping. And right now, we don't know who else is involved, but the witness.
Listen to what this private investigator has to say. Just listen to what he says.
That's gotten information and given it to the police was helpful, and the information from the DNA that they got, knowing what vehicle he was in, now they can now they can start pulling some other things together. He's not going to talk, so the whole thing now is trying to get cadaver dogs and trying to get the DNA and some information, and maybe others, keeping this out in the public, maybe others saw something that may help law enforcement find out where she had put him, and where the body may be. Cadaver dogs, and so taking his computer things from his home and are analyzing it right now in efforts to know that this is probably a planned, this was a planned abduction, and also to try to find out what else they can find that's going to lead to where her body may be.
And it is your belief, because you're saying some things that we hadn't heard so far, that she is definitely deceased.
I'm not saying she's definitely deceased. She's missing, but I'm sure at this point, this gentleman has got history of, and what we do know that she was injured or whatever when she was taken. We know that there apparently was blood or something in the car that has coming up, but you have to take and look at the worst in order to hopefully find out, because this guy's not going to give you any information of where he's put her or where she is or whatever. So we have to pull cadaver dogs in and hope we can locate some information and hopefully find her.
And you are basing the fact that this is not a random attack on the affidavit about the crime?
I think this was a planned. This was planned. This was not an abduction that was just happened at 4:30 in the morning. I think that he had planned, or who he was going to take, or what happened to her. I think he knew. Just as a matter of fact, that he just got out of jail from somebody else that he had victimized.
All right, TJ.
So, a question came up during the live stream, and the question was, why did we see movement like this in Summer's case? Which is also being asked, why didn't we see movement like this in other concurrent missing persons cases. One thing I can say is that, yeah, money. See, I'm going to say this. A lot of people are saying that it's a racial thing. I see it as a money thing. That's true, BC. Once they got you in the system, it's hard to get out and stay out. It is. I don't think, though, it's a race thing as much as a money thing. Sorry, y'all. That's the second part, RJ. But what I'm saying is, before I would say it's a race thing, I would say it's a money thing. I do think the evidence, lack of or presence of, was a huge factor here. You have multiple street cams that were able to get this car and actually film the abduction. Just because we haven't seen it doesn't mean that doesn't exist. Everywhere he went, there was cameras. People talked. People talked. They told what they knew. That's another thing. He left his shoes, his slides that he was wearing barefooted, just like their champion slides, or just like your Nikes or your Adidas or whatever. He left those on the scene. Sorry, yo. And all that together made it so easy for him to get caught. Well, he's not a smart criminal, Kim. I mean, if it was planned, in my opinion, there's a lot better places that he could have caught her. And again, he drove 20-some minutes ahead and waited. I think that we'll hear more. Yep. His sandals, her phone. And they said her phone was smashed. It was found actually not by the police, but by, as I understand it, a student at university on a bicycle found it and brought it to her house. That's the understanding I have. Brought it to her family was the way it was put. And then the police were notified. The premeditation, though, can come from the fact that he went past her. So at that point, they say he spotted and targeted her and decided he was going to do something. And then he sat there and waited until she got up to him and jumped out. And that occurred. So that could be the premeditation right there. Because remember, I said premeditation doesn't necessarily mean all that. You guys, I just can't do it. I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to have to say goodnight. I have got to figure out what to do. I don't know, Muffin Top. I don't know. They're not releasing none of that information. That was just what the news reported. That, along with why, the other question I have is, why did they take those gardening shears? Have they returned her car? Have they returned the laptop? We don't know. Why did the husband lawyer up? There's several questions that are unanswered, that may go unanswered. We're still waiting for Kiely's autopsy results to a point. I never did tell y'all what I think happened. Breathing is the problem, Sunset. I can't. I just need to get my meds. I lay down and feel better. So, let me tell you real quick my Kiely Rodni thing. So, a couple things that y'all don't know, maybe, and you do. That car in neutral, a 2013 Honda CR-V. Don't believe me? Call the Honda dealership. Talk to a mechanic the way I did. You can crank it in neutral. Your key will not come out in neutral. Again, it starts dinging just like if you left your key in the ignition. But it's locked in neutral. It won't let you turn it all the way back. It will not let you remove the key. This is why I think the tow truck driver's story is not believable. Also, you can crank the car in neutral. So it could mean that it's in neutral and you took the key out. Because once you put it in park, it's locked in park. The only way to take the key out is to have the car in park. But it will crank in neutral. With the passenger side window being the one that smashed out and the driver's side rolled down, I just think the driver's side was rolled down. All times you hitting buttons and switches, roll windows up and down, and you hit the wrong one when you got two on each side and they're power windows. I do it all the time. I think that's probably what it was, and it just didn't get rolled back up. My personal opinion, I think Kiely and a friend were leaving the party together to either go home or to the after party. Just like she said she was. But there was somebody else in the vehicle. That road got blocked. They took a left instead of a right and ended up down there in the water. I think the other person in the car got out. And I think they got out the window that's busted out. That's what I think happened. And therefore they knew where her car was the whole time. I think others probably saw it. That's my personal thoughts on what happened. I'm doing a video that I'm working on about the story of Frankie Silvers, since it's from my hometown. And I'm also working on something about Summer. Jody Sue, I got a court case of yours that somebody sent me that I'm looking through. She was in jail. Greene County, Jody Sue. What's that about in 2020? You was trying to get out and get your 1 day counted as 2 days because you was on lockdown for the fungulitis. I have the actual court document, so let's not play with me. I also have 6 other mysterious, unsolved, missing persons in that same area. See, that part, Scuba Diva, I don't know. That's what throws a wrench in my theory. That part throws a wrench in the whole theory. Doesn't explain how she got in the trunk exactly. I do know that when one is highly intoxicated, your body moves and contorts in ways you wouldn't expect. That's why a lot of times the intoxicated person is the least hurt in an accident. They don't even have that because they don't stiffen up and prepare for the impact. They never see it coming. We'll discuss all this later. So it works out and I can find a way to get my medicine. Hope y'all get to feeling better, y'all. Otherwise, peace, love, and light. And I will try to see y'all later tonight. I think so too, Bama Cat. I agree with you on that. I've been agreed. Anybody that can help, please hit the PayPal, the Cash App, the Venmo. It would be greatly appreciated. I'm trying to get my meds so I can get better.